If you're wondering how many days until November the 7th, the answer is 27 days. I would like to add that during those 27 days, I will read this book for the 1000th time, just to try to fill the emptiness I'm experiencing. Hello everyone, I'm Irene Riderelli, writer, blogger and a passionate reader, and this is Into the Books. I know, I'm fully aware that I'm not the only one counting down, and to be honest, I started the countdown the week right after I finished the first book in Rebecca Yarros' The Fourth Wing saga. Probably many of you have already read this book, and this episode may just be a gentle reminder of violence. Oops, I meant Violet and Exarden. But for those of you who are on the fence about whether or not to give this a book a chance, I hope today's episode will help you make up your mind. Violet Sorrengail is the daughter of a general, the sister of a lieutenant, and the weakest of her family. Throughout her life, her father, the only one who recognized her fragile condition, trained her to enter the scribe's quadrant, but her mother would have known of it. And the year before her 20th birthday, she forced Violet to train to enter the Rider's Quadrant. On conscription day, Mira, Violet's sister, tries to change their mother's mind. Mira knows that Violet is not ready, that she's too fragile and not trained enough to be a part of the Rider Quadrant. Mira is certain that Violet will die on the parapet, and if she doesn't die from an accident or lack of skills, the other cadets will surely try to kill her. Violet is a walking target. But her mother doesn't care, because she'd rather have a dead daughter than a scribe in her family. And apparently, it wasn't enough for her to have a dead child, Brennan, her favorite, who died some time ago. Both the young women try to reason with their mother, arguing that their father was a scribe, but she does not listen to them and even hardens her position. Either she sees Violet become part of the Rider's Quadrant, or she sees her on a tombstone with her name on it. When Mira realizes that there is no point in trying to reason with her mother, she changes her strategy. She gives her little sister a tight, black, long-sleeved shirt and leather trousers that appear to be normal clothes, but they are not. Both garments were made from the scales of Thane, Mira's dragon. This special material will protect Violet when all the cadets try to harm her, but for this purpose, she has to wear them all the time, even when she sleeps. Those garments help Violet, and a lot. Against all odds, Violet survives the parapet, and not only that. The Rider Quadrant is the cruelest of the 4 quadrants that make up the Basketball College. There, several students die almost daily. If not because of the tests they are forced to pass, then at the ends of the other cadets who whip the weakest link in their chain. And as if that were not enough, there is the procedure of emotional bonding with a dragon, which of course is impossible to survive. Dragons only choose the strongest, and they do so because in order to channel their powers to the rider, the rider must be strong, which Violet is not. But the longer she lasts in the quadrant, the more she discovers her true strength. She's resilient. She doesn't let her flaws get in the way of her main goal, which is to survive. Violet would have expected her best friend, Yarros, the leader of the flame section of the second squadron, to support her. Instead, he just wants to take Violet out of the quadrant, constantly remember her about her fragility and telling her that she would never be able to bond with a dragon. On the other hand, there is one person who watches Violet closely and who sees to be the only one who sees her for the smart girl she is. That person is Yarros, someone she should stay away from. Xaden's father was the great traitor and the one who led the rebellion. The rebels' children were forcibly conscripted as punishment for their parents' crimes, and Xaden is one of them. To make matters worse, Violet's mother was the one who killed Xaden's father. So there is no doubt that Xaden will try to take revenge on Violet. Or maybe not. When she discovers that her whole life has been a big lie, will she be strong enough to change her mind and face the consequences of that lie and side with them? Or will she remain in the world she has always known? I tried my best not to give away any details that might spoil the ending of the story and to keep the review short and concise, but I have to admit that it was quite difficult because this book is something truly amazing and it is practically impossible to cover all of its greatness in so few words. When I bought this book, I didn't have too many expectations of it, other than an entertaining book. I had read some reviews that described it as a replacement for Agota, and although different, I can say, to my own surprise, that it is indeed the replacement book for Agota. The story is entertaining, with a Violet who draws strength from her weakness, and I love her because she never pretended to be like the others who were stronger than her. Instead, she wisely used her cunning, and this specific trait of her character allowed her to survive. And not only that, Xaden, who in my mind is the talkative version of Azrael, is really the fake bad boy that I'm pretty sure many of us would like to have in our lives. I say fake because in reality he is a kind, good man who is forced to wear an armor to protect himself and those around him. I can't say too much about him because I don't want to give excessive information, but trust me, you will love these two together. Before I say goodbye, I would like to remind you that Iron Flame, the Empyrean, the sequel to Fourth Wing, will be released on November the 7th, so I suggest you pre-order your copy. Thank you for joining me to the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it all, and if you are interested in knowing the differences between Fourth Wing and Agota, I will soon be posting a video here on YouTube where I go into more detail about it, so if you would like that, it will be available in a few days. As usual, I'll see you next week.